Let's move on to sectional 3A, or sectional 18, I should say. Out of 3A, Northwood at Lakeland, South Bend St. Joseph at Tippecanoe Valley, West Noble's at home against Rochester, and Jimtown at Mishawaka Marion. Not a lot of local teams in that one to really talk about. So let's move on to sectional 19 in 3A, and this is one of the best sectionals, I think, from top to bottom you'll see throughout the entire state. Yes. Norwell at Harding, Eastbrook at Leo, Heritage at Concordia, Blackford at Belmont. And for a lot of fans here in Northeast Indiana, you see Eastbrook, you don't know much about them. Blackford, you don't know much about them. But those are some quality teams, especially Eastbrook. Leo's going to get tested.
Eastbrook is ranked 4th in the state, and they are dynamic defensively. They're very good offensively, but defensively is what they hang their hat on. Leo is going to face the test of the year. I mean, I know Leo's had a great year. Offensively, they've been phenomenal, but they are going to have just a really, really difficult time with Eastbrook. Eastbrook can run the ball, but they pass enough to keep you honest, but really their defense will give Leo's offense, which has been prolific in its own right, a lot of trouble this weekend.
Is Leo at a disadvantage in some respect in that matchup from the fact that, you know, they haven't faced a defense like Eastbrook's in the ACAC?
No, well, not really, because Fort Wayne football, like I was saying, is a notch above. And so really, I think it's more so that Eastbrook hasn't faced a team like Leo. Whenever these teams come in and play the Fort Wayne teams, I'm not just being a homer here, Fort Wayne football is a notch above the rest of the state. So the teams like Marion or Eastbrook that don't generally play against this level of competition, they're in for a test of themselves. The Central Indiana Conference that Eastbrook plays in is nothing compared to the ACAC.
All right. Well, moving on, you see that Norwell at Harding matchup, and you're talking about it comes down to the two best running backs.
Think they'll run the ball a little bit in that game?
There might be that game might move fast along the clock because you've got Rod Smith going against Clay Fichter, and Fichter 6 touchdowns against Columbia City this last week. What kind of matchup is that going to be? Because on paper they like to do the same things.
They do like to do the same things. Harding passes a little bit more, but like I was saying earlier, against Southside last week, the Harding passing game was really weak. Zach Haydock was inaccurate, and Rod Smith had the whole load put on his shoulders. These are two teams going in different directions right now. Now, whether they can reverse that going into the tournament will be a whole nother matter. But Harding has not been playing well as of late. Norwell's been playing exceptional football as of late. So even though it's at Harding, I really look for Norwell to be able to run the ball, control the clock, and their momentum the last few weeks will carry them to a victory in this game.
Norwell, Harding, Eastbrook, and Leo all on the top half of that bracket. That is a pretty juggernaut. I mean, that is a tough
draw
schedule.
Out of the hat, it could be. So.
And on the bottom half, we have Heritage at Concordia, Blackford at Belmont. Obviously, you know, it seems like people are kind of overlooking Belmont in this bracket, but they're the reigning 3A state champs.
Yeah, anybody that has an ounce of sense in their head isn't overlooking Belmont. Belmont has not been dominant all season like they have or were last year, but make no mistake about it, they're a good team. And they've bounced back from some earlier defeats, and I look for Belmont to come out of that bracket. At the bottom half of that bracket. Heritage Concordia, very competitive game. Heritage played great in their shocking win over Garrett, or last-minute win over Garrett. Big play to seal that deal. Concordia has played well as of late also. I thought that they should have beaten Elmhurst easier than they did last week, but they have been playing well prior to that, and they've got emotion on their side. Coach Dorfler is wrapping up his career, so it'll be interesting to see, but I think Belmont should come out of those two